I hope you're all doing great by the time you get to watch this video. If you're new here, my name is Maureen. Please feel at home on this channel where we get to discuss about a lot of interesting things as discussed on my very first video. If you haven't watched it, please go back and do so. Also like the video, comment, share. Please subscribe and click the notification button so that you get to be notified whenever I get to upload a new video. To all of my subscribers and viewers, I want to say a big thank you for your continued support and believing on this channel. You are all amazing and I treasure you so much. So without any further ado, let's jump straight to today's video. If you have watched my previous video, basically this is a continuation of the same video, so we call it a part 2. If you haven't watched my previous video on online dating, please do so you are able to connect well with us on today's video. So if I can remember, we finalized on the photo uploads on the last video. So we basically mentioned a few key factors to consider when you're putting out your photo on any online dating site. So to add on a few points regarding the photos, I also want to mention that you need to at least put a minimum of 3 photos, and these photos should be different photos. You don't want to make the person who is viewing your profile to imagine and to strain to imagine how you look like in person. So just try and put at least 3 photos, different photos, and that will make your work easier. So I will also want to emphasize on another very important key factor when you're uploading a photo. Please avoid taking photos with sunglasses on or shades on unless it's a medical eyeglass. Basically, we are just trying to ensure that the other person is able to see our facial appearance very clearly. Yeah. Also, like I mentioned before on my previous video, if the person you're viewing their profile has like a passport photo, they don't have like a full photo, please, it is your right to ask them for at least 3 photos, different photos, full photos. Insist on full photos so that you are able to see how they look like in person as well. Because if you don't do that, my dear viewers, and then you wait for the day that you guys are meeting up, a guy comes miles and miles away to come and see you finally, and then you get to meet them in person. You know what will happen. Guess what? You will you will end up in a panic attack, you know. We will have to call, then you'll end up in a panic attack, then followed by a heart attack. Then we will have to call you an ambulance, which will have to rush you in the hospital. You'll have to end up in an emergency room, and you can imagine how that will go. I mean, there are so many stories you must have heard about, like blind dates and stuff, people you haven't met and you're meeting them in the first time. Probably you wouldn't like their physique, you wouldn't like how they're looking like. So it's important to ask for these photos in advance so you don't get to shock yourself, dears. Yeah. Also, I will add on a few points on the do's and don'ts of dating site. We are not saying that online dating is very safe. No. There are also dangers that are involved in that site. So you ought to be very careful anytime you get to talk to these strangers. So number one thing I will insist on, please, please, please make sure to maintain your communication on the site, on the dating site that you're in. Because what happens, or how I will put it, you don't want to share like your number to a lot of these people. You can imagine how your WhatsApp or your other communication channels will end up being so messy. Unless you're a messy person yourself, then you go ahead. I mean, that is your choice. But for me, I love my privacy in a way, and I will only share my personal contacts to someone that I see a future with, or someone that I feel I can give them a benefit of the doubt, then I will do so. So please, please, please try and avoid sharing your personal contacts to the whole village in that dating site. Yeah, another don't. Do not ever, ever, I insist, share your nudes to a stranger. I mean, this is a very this should be a common sense, you know, but it's so sickening that some ladies will still fall on this prey. You know, they'll fall a prey to this. It's really sickening. How do you even take your nude photos or your naked photos and start sending to a stranger that you haven't met? You don't even know how those people are, my dear. You will end up regretting someday when you get to stumble on your photos all over the internet, ruining your career because of just a small mistake. And you know, like, you need to prioritize your dignity. Your dignity comes first. Also, be aware of frauds. There's a lot of fraud happening, you know. And in this case, let's talk about our brothers from the West. Don't or avoid sharing your full details to strangers. Do not, like, try not to do so, my dear. Like, you have never come across a white guy, the profile belongs to a white guy, but behind that profile is one of our brothers from the West, and he has an ill motive. Definitely, probably they are there to scam people from cash. We've heard of those stories a lot, so you ought to be very, very careful. Don't fall a prey to this, please, please, please. Okay, so guys, we will jump straight to another frequently asked question. When do you get to request for a video call, a live video call with the person that you have been chatting with on that dating site? So when you think something good is working for you, request for a live video call. For me, my ideal timeline will be a maximum of 2 weeks. I mean, I'm a straightforward person. When I like something, I like something, and therefore I will not waste any time. But this depends with you also. I don't want a scenario whereby I have to speak to someone for years, or for a year or months, and then later to notice that these people were, or this person was an impersonator. So I want to see you right away and know that I am talking to a genuine person before I get to extend my conversation. Also, you need to make sure that when you're chatting, when you're video calling, you're having a live video call with this person, you have to ensure that on that dating, the profile photo that is on, or the pictures that are on that dating site of this person, is the same person that you're speaking to on that live video call, because there are strange things that are happening on these internet streets. So you ought to be very, very, very careful. If the person is not willing to do a video call, that's a red flag. Please, girl, run for your life, because if you have to make this thing work, you have to be committed to each other on such an important thing that will determine if you guys will go further or not. So if they give an excuse every now and then, you don't have to, and you end up not doing a video call, stop the communication, and if possible you can block them. It's up to you, but just like stop it at that. I will also mention one of the do's and don'ts on the site. When you're chatting to someone and someone tells you how much they love you on the very first day you're chatting, and someone tells you how much they're already in love with you and that they want to marry you and they know that you are the girl of their dream, that's a very big red flag. I mean, you're just chatting for the first time. This person barely knows you. You barely know that person. How does someone come up with this idea of loving you and marrying you immediately? It doesn't work like that. You need to take time to know each other first. Now let's jump to another important, amazing part. That is the meeting up. Meet up. Two of you have had like a long conversation on that dating site. You even exchanged your personal contacts. You have a very big chemistry going on between you two. You feel amazing about each other. You feel like you belong to each other, and so you decide to finally want to meet each other one-on-one. This is a very, very, very interesting as well as a very difficult point. Why do I say it is a very difficult point? This is because for me it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50%, 50% risk and 50% safe. Anything could happen at this point. Remember that this is not your brother or this is not your relative, so you really need to be careful. At this point, I always advise people to pray. Just because you had this friend who told you that their online dating went well, it doesn't mean yours will go well. Just because they met good people, it doesn't mean you will meet good people. Everyone has their own experience, so you don't compare your experience or don't compare what you expect to your friends. Leave your friends' experience alone and concentrate on yours. Just do the right thing for yourself, because if anything happens, it will happen to you, as your friends will only be there to console you. So please tread very, 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 very careful. We've had a lot of stuff. People have had their first meeting. Some people got murdered, some people got dragged, some people got kidnapped. So you don't want to end up in that kind of a sad situation. In this case, at least let one of your closest friends or closest family member know about the meeting and alert them on all of your moves. Even when you're boarding a vehicle, take the number plate of that vehicle and share to either of these people. It is very, very important. It's a very safety measure. For me, I call them the rule of 4 W's. Whom you're meeting with, where you're meeting those people, when you're meeting those people, and why you're meeting these people. Let whoever you choose, either your close friend or your close family member, know about all these details in full. Do not even leave one. It is very important, and you will only notice there when you're in some kind of a problem. Also, that's it for the important key factors to be considered, the red flags as discussed, and other measures that you need to take. So now I will just include a few, just by the way, important notes. Do not put high hopes when you're in a dating site. Don't put high hopes. Like, just be there like you're having fun, you're trying to search for love. Do not try so hard. You know, do not put all your feelings there. Remember, these are people you don't know, you have never met, you're trying to know them, you are looking forward to meet them. So do not put high hopes. Even if someone comes and visits you, it doesn't mean chances are high that they will end up with you. We've had a scenario, from my experiences, I've had a scenario whereby someone who comes to meet me apparently has arranged for meeting with other, like even 4 girls in the same location, in the same country. For example, he's coming to visit you in Kenya. He's planned for other meetings with some other ladies he was talking to. Because remember, when this guy is talking to you in that site, he's also talking to other girls on the same site. He could be talking to 20 more girls. So don't feel like, don't conclude and say that this is your guy, he's going to be your guy. No, no, no. Just be patient, do the right thing, do what you need to do, and leave the rest to God. If that person is meant for you, he will be. If he is not meant for you, then let it and keep searching until you find something for you. There is something for everyone. So, guys, the list is very long, but we are going to end it here for today. So it was nice talking to you. If you have any comments, any additional information, please do not hesitate to put them down on the comment section. Remember to subscribe if you haven't, and to click that notification button so that you're notified on the next video. Until next time, goodbye.